Welcome to Blender Frenzy. I am Justin, and today we are going to continue our Terminator skull, just modeling it, and we're going to extrude starting here, and we're going to extrude up to the top of the head and the back of the head, and then we're going to fill in the sides, and then extrude in this little gear cubby pan, brain pan thing. And in subdivision surface, it looks like this. And without the overlays, it looks like this. So it's actually pretty simple. It shouldn't take too much time, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is what we have so far. This is what we did last time. And we're going to just continue on extruding some geometry around the head and then filling that in on the side. If you want to follow along with the images of the skull that I made before, I have created a blend file for you to download. Everything is lined up for you, ready to go. Just go to blenderfrenzy.com and you can go to the freebies single downloads if you don't want to become a member. Click go to downloads, and then you can just download this blend file right away. If you do want to become a member, you can sign up. And you can sign up for the Frenzy Freebies tier, which is free, and it has access to a lot of my downloads for my YouTube tutorials. Or you can support me with a Plus or Pro membership as well. You can also check out my new Blendinator course here, which is comprehensive head tracking VFX in Blender, showing you how to take the skull, which is included in the course, and put it under your own skin, under wounds, and make yourself the Terminator. I go over a whole bunch of different head tracking techniques, masking techniques, compositing techniques that you can master in order to get started with VFX in Blender now. I'll leave the links to the course in the description. It is also on Blender Market, and if I click training down here, it is one of the 2 staff picks, at least at the time of this recording, right next to Intro to Geometry Nose, and Ducky 3D is really good too, so super proud of this. And I have a 20% off coupon that was supposed to end already. I'm a little late with this Terminator tutorial on YouTube, so I'm going to extend this so you can have access to this a little bit more. Just type Blendinator 2024 for 20% off. But now back in Blender, let's continue our skull. I'm going to go out of real time, which is just the subdivision surface. And I showed how to do the quick favorites in the last video, essentially just right click and then add to quick favorites. But first, what I'm going to do is take this edge and then just make sure it's in the middle of this portion here. I don't want to put it all the way to this edge yet because we're going to extrude it in a little bit. So I'm going to take this edge all the way through this edge. And you can see my screencast keys over here, by the way. We're going to extrude this up and out. I'm going to scale on the Z-axis, typing 0 to flatten that out. Now, something that I don't want is this point to be inset. You can see how this is only supposed to be inset with the brow. So I don't want it to be inset anymore up over here. So let's take this point and just pull that out to match this one. It should be parallel with that one, like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do in the side mode is circle select all of these. Now circle select is C, left click is to select, and then middle click is to deselect any of these. And then just make sure to right click to disable the circle select, because if you're in circle select and you don't disable it, then you can't click on anything else or do anything else, and you wonder why, and that's why. Just right click to disengage from that. Okay, so I want to scale these, but you see if I just start to scale them with S straight away, it gives us this weird result. If we go in the front mode, you can see all the points are being concentrated over here, except for this one because this we have clipping on, so it's just stuck there. So we get this really weird result. And for the longest time, I didn't know that that was happening. So to avoid this, we press S and then Shift X, and that excludes the X-axis, which is left and right. We only want to scale up and down and back and forth. So I'm going to do that, and you can see that these stay perfectly aligned like this in the front view, which is what we want. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab those and then place them accordingly, and we can adjust individual points if we need, but I think that looks good enough. Okay, I'm going to take those all again, extrude them again, rotate, and we're going to do the same thing. Just place them, scale, Shift X, and place them accordingly. And maybe I'll pull this down here just a little bit. E to extrude, rotate, and I'm going to rotate so that it's straight up and down, and then S, and then this time type Y and 0, so that they're completely aligned up and down straight with each other. And then this is going to be going down straight down the middle here, and I want to kind of line it up probably right about where this line would start here. So something like that. Let's E to extrude this again. And now for this one, I'm not going to match it over here like this, which would be even. I'm going to go based on the picture and where I think the geometry would be best put. And I think right here to follow that geometry would be the best. And now what I'm looking for when I go around to the rest of the head is how many extrusions I need. So if I go on this half of our straight up and down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extrusions. So we want to match that. So we've got 1, and then we just need 5 more all the way around. So I'm going to do that, kind of trying to match this, and then maybe actually I might take this line and pull this down a little bit. And I'm clicking and dragging these kind of straight away here because the tweak is on. Remember here, if we enable that tweak, that's what allows us to click and drag points straight away. Okay, so we've got 1 and 1, and then we need to keep going. I'm going to double A to deselect, C to select these, right click, E to extrude, and keep going. So this would be 2. And I'm just going to keep doing the same thing all the way around. So this 2, and that's 3. And I'm going beyond the picture because the head is cut off in the back here. So I'm just going beyond that a little bit. Something like that. So let's go out into 3D mode here. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Now I want to make sure that the head is smooth as we can make it. So we want to make sure that there are not any grooves. So we're going to go into subdivision surface. So we don't want any grooves, and we kind of see down the middle we still have this little crease, and we don't want any creases. So first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to take one of these points up here. Let's go into subdivision surface, grab, and remember, if you can't see your circle and everything moves, it's because the circle's too big. That's your circle of influence here. So scroll up to shrink that. Pull everything. I want to pull it up and over, kind of past the picture, past the image, because when we're in subdivision surface, it shrinks to it. So I'm just going to take those and pull those out. Also to make a little bit more evenly rounded shape. Okay, let's see what that looks like here. Okay, you can see that crease actually even more. So we got to fix that. I'm going to look in here in the 3D mode over here, and then in the 3D mode here. This line from here to here, I think, and then just pull those up. Oh, I'm still in proportional editing. I don't want proportional editing. So pull those up and over. And if I do it too much, you can see I'm giving the skull a mohawk there. I don't want that. So just watching to find out where that crease disappears. And maybe I will deselect these here, and then you can also come up here to change the matte cap, different studio lightings to maybe see it a little bit better. Everybody's eyes are kind of different. Matte cap also, I think this one, was it this one? Yeah, this one or this one might even help a little bit more. I think I like this one or this one. I think I like this one the best. So I'm going to keep that there, and it's just ever so slightly. I'm going to bring those down. So G and then Z, and then just hold down Shift to go really slowly. Just to kind of smooth that out. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. Let's save it. And you know, I have been forgetting to duplicate our plane. So why don't we do that now? In object mode, Shift D to duplicate, and then we'll hide this one. Just so we have something to fall back on. I should have done that before I extruded it, but oh well. Okay, double checking, and we do maybe have a little bit of a crease back here. Let's pull that one out on the Y. Yeah, nice. Let's look at it from the front. Okay, so we have more of a crease in the front than I want, I think. Yeah. So let's go to the front here. I'm going to take this one in side mode and just start pulling that out. Yes, okay, that's better. And then let's go in front mode over here. Let's enable our overlays. X-ray mode. Make sure all of this is even here. That's really nice too. If this isn't even for you, just do the same exact thing as we've been doing. Now, because we're making tiny movements, I'm okay with doing this in subdivision, but just make sure that it also looks okay outside of subdivision, because sometimes when you're moving stuff around in subdivision and you go out of it, you have points that are like way far off like this, spikes, and maybe that looks kind of cool. Maybe that's something that you want to do for your own Terminator, but I don't want to do that with this one. Now what we want to do is connect these. So I'm going to start at the bottom here with these two edges. So this one, shift select this one, F to fill that face. And then all I have to do is take this one and press F 1, 2, 3 more times, do a loop cut here, and then take this one, F twice to fill that in. Pretty easy. And X-ray mode, okay. So I really like this, the way we have this set up. So we've got these going straight across here like this. This I want to line up with this piece here. So this kind of like little 7 or a gun or something. So I'm going to just double G to slide that, and we'll take this and line these up, starting to align this with that little piece here. So it's kind of going up and around like that. Okay, so now let's make this little gear inset piece. So over here, let's disable the X-ray. And in face select mode, I'm going to select these faces. I to inset. And then in vertex select, we're just going to manipulate these, kind of going around the inside here. So now let's take these faces in here, and we're going to E and extrude them probably about right here. Just something that looks good as far as, I don't want this to be too thin, but I don't want it to be too thick either. So I'm going to E to extrude again, right click, and then S to scale. And I'm just going to scale them up a little bit. And if we come over here and turn off the mirror modifier, and then we come around here, you can kind of see what's happening. So if I scale that, you can see it's kind of scaling it inside here past all of the other geometry. So now we're going to extrude it again this way, just like that. And in subdivision surface, it looks like this. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty easy to get that little gear inset cubby area thing, whatever you call that. The Terminator mechanical brain pan. So eventually what we're going to do, I'm not going to do this now, but I'm going to show you, just like we did with the eye in the last video, I'm going to make a loop cut going around here and making this edge a little bit sharper. And then doing another loop cut here, going this way, making that, so that we have a lot more defined area. And then we'll also do a loop cut here, going out like this, so we have this really defined gear pan inset. And I say eventually because I don't want to do that now. I'm just going to undo that And the reason is, for the next step, I don't want too much geometry. So I like the geometry that we have now. And so the next step in the next video, what we're going to do is create the illusion of 3 different sections. So if we hide our plane for a second, you can see in side mode, control space to maximize this, we have 3 different sections. We have this section here with the front of the face that comes all the way around here till this little 7 or this little gun-shaped thing here. It kind of connects to this groove here and then comes around. So this is one piece right here in the front. The second piece is separated here and it comes all the way around the top of the head and the back of the skull and connects into the first piece. So this is piece number 2. And then inside, this would be the piece number 3. Now, we are not going to make 3 different pieces. We're just going to create the illusion of 3 different pieces using some loop cuts and bevels. But like I said, that will be in the next video. So when you're ready, head on over to the next one.